this series of videos, I want to be very meticulous. So I hope you'll be patient with me, and as I go along, you'll find this interesting. Thanks again. But I'm gonna continue working this. I'm liking how it's looking. So I have this, fitted. If you see, probably easier here in this area below the wing, that is right up against there. And I also have it up on my computer screen, a different reference that's just that doorway. So I got the angles right, all that, I got the curves right, it just needs to come up. So I left the sidelines, I'll bring those up, and I filled this in. So I just need to bring what I did there up. So then mapped all that out back to my references, and then re-scribe that door line, both the straight edge and then the upper corners with the curved templates. So there's my reference, and I think I'm much closer now. So here's my final kind of full test fitting, if you will. So I fitted that piece on the bottom. There's actually some sheet styrene underneath there holding out that bow in the, where it bows down in the middle, and then taped to the fuselage on the ends. There's those engines mocked up. And then on this side, if I hold that tight to there, that looks pretty good. And then you can see on that piece on the bottom where the doorway from the Falcon piece was, so I've lined that up, so that'll give me that bow in the belly underneath. So yeah, I'm liking how that looks. I have to make sure I get everything perpendicular back here, but I think that's looking pretty good to references. What I did was, from sheet styrene, cut it out. I actually traced it on the inside of there, and then cut them out and put them inside of here with a little bit of sticky tack, so that they'll stick up here, and I can fit those into here, and they fit nicely. And then once you fit it in there, then you can spread this to get it to where it needs to be on each side. Same thing on the bottom here. All right, that one's all right, but this one, unfortunately, if you can see there, it's got, from the openings on the other side, the mold, shows a major indentation there. And none of these other two have it, so I'll figure out which ones are which. I'm gonna cut this one. I'm satisfied that this is gonna work, and my method that I came up with here is gonna work, so I'm confident I'm gonna go with these, so I'm gonna cut those. I think you can see this even on camera. That tail is crooked. It's leaning to the right, and it's the piece on the right side that's crooked. You can see the piece on the right is bigger, and so if I put those two together, it'll pull it, to the right. So I'm going to try to fix it. I've gone out on YouTube and watched a couple of different methods to do it. One of them is boiling water. Another one is using a heat gun. I actually did a run I've been wanting a heat gun for a while anyway, so I did a run to Harbor Freight. And, it's a Sunday morning, you go to Harbor Freight, you can't help but walk around. So I have a little bit of a supplies stash haul from Harbor Freight. Let me put this on the tripod. To start with, these glasses that I use, these are a 3.0, +3, whatever. It's starting to get hard to see stuff. So I went to, before I went to Harbor Freight, I went to the local drugstore, and these are plus 3.25, the highest one they had. So I guess the next thing I'll have to go to then is those magnifying glass things or whatever. But so we'll see how these work. Okay, so for the correcting the warp, like I said, I watched a few videos. There's one where they boil water, and maybe that might work, but there's several where they use a heat gun. So I went and got a heat gun from Harbor Freight, and this is it's not the cheapest one, it's the next one up, because on this one it vents from the side and you can set it down on a flat surface and then work over it. So I got that one. Anyway, when I saw this in the checkout line, so I grabbed it. I thought, that's kind of cool. I can think of a few applications for some of these bigger ones, especially cleaning up after panel line wash and things like that. So we'll see how they work. And then again, for checking that, I liked, because for checking that square and perpendicular, it can hopefully lie flat on a surface, and then I can look and see if stuff is up and down and stuff like that. So I grabbed that. When I was looking for scribing tools, they talked about a flexible ruler. I couldn't find one online, and they had one there, so I got that. And then I got these, oh, they already came out, these magnetic hooks. So that, you can, here. I have this air filtration system up here and over this table, and so now I can hang stuff over the table, a light, or even hanging the camera up above here. So I just grabbed these. And what else? Oh, and then a big one, and I think that's it, and a bigger one for heavier stuff. So yeah, just a quick couple of supplies haul update. I'm gonna attempt to fix this. You can see there, it's taped tight all the way around, yet it's still separated here. And then when I squeeze those two together, it because this is the bigger, stronger piece, it wants to conform to that. So I want to take this piece and kind of twist it this way. Before I do so, you remember I have that spare kit. I'm going to test it on a piece, a spare piece. And the reason I got this one is it has the vents on the side here, and you can stand it. Because it has the vents on the side, you can stand it up. And it has 3 speeds here, and then 10 heat settings here on this dial on the back. So I'm going to start at the lowest one and kind of feel how hot it is, and then crank it up if I have to. So that is perfectly flat. Let's see if we can warp it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, here goes nothing. Ooh, I like that idea. So the only thing that has to turn is this tail from here. I think I might hold it there and tilt it like this. Not bad. Yeah, I think that did it. All right. There we go. That's pretty doggone straight. I think I have that level and parallel and perpendicular and all that. So yeah, the heat gun technique worked. I saw techniques where they would, put it in a bath of water, of hot water. And that works if you have a really twisted and warped piece that the whole thing is warped. And then what I learned from other videos with the heat gun is if it's just a specific spot, then you can concentrate the gun on that spot. So I think both techniques are good, but for this particular application, I think the heat gun worked as advertised. And then the other thing I had to do was then shorten this piece out on the outside where it meets there, because then it wanted to go past there. So I actually had to file that surface down on that piece. And then that brought it all into alignment, especially up here, where those pieces, it's under the tape, but where those pieces align then became important. And now, like before, my glass was off, I also sanded behind there and these pieces, each surface of those, and now everything lines up down the middle, and I have a little bit sticking out on the side on each side of the glass, which I like because then I can file down to the surface of the plane and bring that all into alignment. So yeah, things are starting to line up good. I'm happy. Mail call. Got a shop card from Sean, the Scale Model Car Guy, from the Scale Model Car Guy channel, and very kind words on the back. Yeah, he finally got his shop cards out, and so super happy to put this one up on the wall. If you haven't seen his channel, definitely go check it out. It's awesome. And he always comments on my videos, just a very nice guy. So definitely go give him a check out. Okay, did a little rearranging, got him up on the wall there. Thanks again, Sean. Mail call of sorts. I just got these. I was out looking at Black Dog because I had those wing folds. And I came across these. It's 1 to 700 deck vehicles, tractors and stuff. So just snagged those while I saw them, because eventually they will, you know, go on there. And again, I think I said this before, not all those aircraft will be on the final product, so to speak. Just putting them on there. Some will go down in the hangar deck, and some will just come off the off the model. So somewhere down the line, you'll see those. Next thing is to finally drill these holes. I checked the locations from this line above on both sides, and they match. And lined up the windows and everything, so these windows should match. Now obviously this one and this one are in different locations because of this door, but I'm pretty satisfied that everything lines up. I also, since I did this, if you'll recall, I felt these were too big, so I went down one, and I do like that a little better. And I actually brought this over to the E2A, which is also a Grumman. I'm kind of assuming their portholes would be the same or similar, and this seems closer. So I'm gonna go with that. Wondering if I should just take this over to the drill press. There we go. Oh, there, you can see it. And as you can see, if you look through, those windows line up, which is what's supposed to happen, obviously, except for back here. And then same thing on the other side. You can see through there that they line up. So I'm pretty happy with the way this came out. So now I'll file these open into rectangles. Finished these holes. I think everything looks good, matches up. I filed these back. I had scribed the outline and actually filed them back and just left the outline there, which I kind of like. It's a nice effect. So now, kind of getting close to being done with these fuselage sides, the next thing I have to do is make those windows, then, you know, paint the inside here, put some nose weight in there, do the cockpit in there. But on this, I went out again and watched a couple of YouTubes They used this crystal clear, and what they did was they, dipped it in, like a Q-tip or a toothpick or whatever, and then they just kind of, kept dipping it in there and building it up. It looked good. I liked it. And I actually asked, so what about when you mask? Are you concerned about pushing it through? And I didn't get an answer. But I am. So what I think I'm going to do is take this plastic and cut a strip of that and lay it inside there, or a couple of strips, whatever, and lay it inside, and glue it to there and make sure it stays. And then I can build this up with the crystal clear. So that, I think, is the approach I'm going to take on the windows. So that'll be next, like I said, and then the cockpit, because I want to get these two together and then start working on that bottom, and complete the scribing all the way around. I'm happy with where these are at, and I'm ready to build the engines. I cleaned up the ejection pin marks on the insides. So I'm ready to, you kind of have to build that. So I'll build these and then attach these like on each side. I'll probably reconstruct it just like this, or test, fit it, and then put those on, touch the glue to it, and get them right where I want them. So I'll dial those in, again, do it a little bit at a time, and then dial those in, because those have to be really good. It's a prominent feature. So, yeah. All right. So, as always, thanks for watching. Happy modeling.